What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. Cheers. I haven't been doing the shows the past couple days. I had a lot of stuff going on. I recently just got accepted into another master's program, so I'm going back for my second master's. So had a couple things to take care of with that. Work was kind of hectic, but I'm going to stay more focused, and I got you guys and girls. Today we're going to be talking about a good amount of things. A lot of professional fighting, UFC and Bellator. There was an awesome Bellator card last night. Might have been the only Bellator card I've ever watched. A lot of good NBA already today. The Clippers and Trailblazers game was awesome. This is why it took a little bit longer for me to start streaming because I got caught up watching that fourth quarter. I'll talk about that a little bit more. Tonight we have a UFC card, and I'm going to go through each of the fights. Probably only a main card. I don't know a lot of the undercard, but I'll mention some names that I know and that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, so let's go from there. So first, let me start off with Bellator. That card, as I mentioned, might have been the only card I've watched. I started only the third to last fight in the main card, Miles Jury versus Georgie K. Georgie K. But Miles Jury won that by split decision. Let's see what other fights were on there. So I'll go through the results. Dalton Rossa defeated Mark Gardner by TKO in round 1, right at the buzzer. Nice. Charlie Campbell defeated Nain Noah Dung by TKO in round 2. Grant Neal defeated Hamza Salim by unanimous decision. Valerie Loureda defeated Tara Graf by KO at the end of round 2, right at the buzzer. So this is a fight, if you haven't seen it, at least the finishing sequence, you should see it. Valerie stunned her with the right, dropped her opponent, and then some vicious ground and pound right at the end of the round. The ref stopped it. Valerie was awesome. I highly recommend watching her celebration after. She's definitely a fan favorite. Let's put it like that. I will definitely be following her in the future. Chris Lencioni defeated AJ Agazarm. I've heard of his name. I still can't say it though. I'm pretty surprised by that. It was a unanimous decision. Chris won 30-26, 30-27, 29-28. So 30-26, that means one of the rounds was 10-8. I'm pretty surprised by that. Just starting the pot, I saw that Sean O'Malley's manager, Tim, I forgot his last name, but Tim, he tweeted out that AJ sucks. Just stirring the pot. Will they be fighting? I don't know. Next fight, Adam Borix defeated Mike Hamill. Is Mike Hamill the person, or no? That's Matt Hamill. Matt Hamill's the one who stole a win over John Jones. Saba defeated Curtis Melender by unanimous decision. Don't know these people. Don't know most of these people. But Saba was being cornered by Dustin Poirier, so that was pretty cool. Next fight, Miles Jury defeated Georgie, as I mentioned. I didn't watch. I tried to watch the fight, and it's pretty weird. It was split decision. One judge had it 27-30. Another judge had it 30-27, and then the third judge had it 29-28. So that fight might have been really weird. Probably a lot of grappling happening, a lot of control time. One judge might have been just counting strikes instead of the wrestling. So who knows what happened in that. Next fight, I watched throughout the whole thing. Timothy Johnson defeated Matt Mitrione by TKO in the first round. I thought this fight was kind of BS. Tim came in with a headbutt, dropped Mitrione, And heavyweights, you control your weight and control the leg movement, the leverage. It's hard to get back up. This is a big guy. It's not easy to explode. It's unfortunate. And then just by ground and pound, Timothy was able to get Matt out of there. And then at the end, Timothy said he thought it was a tangle up, and he was like, better to get lucky. And I thought that was just a little salt on the wound as well for Matt. Matt has a win over Matt or over Fedor. I thought that's pretty cool. So it's just kind of, I want to follow Matt a little bit more. And Timothy, he had a great win. Now he's won 2 in a row, I think. So we'll see. Like I mentioned, this is the first Bellator card I've watched, and I'm sure there's going to be more I'm going to be watching going forward. Looks like Corey Anderson just signed recently too, so he's a fighter I watched in the UFC. He's a fighter I started liking when he was on Joe Rogan, talking about the struggles he went through, just going through the process as a wrestler, how he's gotten fights in the UFC, how he went to the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, so Corey Anderson, he's got a tough matchup though. I watched film on the lightweight contenders there, and they got Ryan Bader, who's a 2-time champ or double champ right now for the lightweight and heavyweight, and I had to watch him knock out Fader in 37 seconds. It was so strange, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. And the last fight was Michael Chandler defeating Benson Henderson. So Benson Henderson, former UFC lightweight champion, beat Frankie Edgar twice, won by KO in the first round, 2 minutes and 9 seconds in. It was awesome. This, not awesome for Benson, but awesome to see Michael Chandler do that, because Benson at one time was one of the greatest lightweights, and what Michael Chandler did was pop, pop. Benson fell and just ground and pound from there. And the other key thing is now Michael Chandler is a free agent. So potentially he'd be going to UFC, which would be pretty cool as well. So now on to the UFC. So there's a card tonight, and it should be fairly interesting. The headline is Derrick Lewis versus Aleksei Oleinik. If you don't know who Derrick Lewis is, he's the one who said my balls are hot, or were hot, are currently hot. Something about balls being hot. And Aleksei Oleinik is the first fighter to fight in his 4th decade. If you don't know his record, it's 59, 13, and 1. So he's looking for his 60th win. Incredible. So just looking at the prelims, don't know too many of these people. We have Irwin Rivera versus Ali Akwazi. Nope. Youssef Zalal versus Peter Barrett. Nah. Gavin Tucker versus Justin James. Nah. Andrew Sanchez versus Wellington Turman. Nazarat Hakparast versus Alex Munoz. No, but Alex Munoz has a 0, so let's see if he keeps that. Kevin Holland versus Joaquin Buckley. So Kevin Holland was on the fight card last weekend, and his opponent fainted right before the fight. So hopefully Joaquin makes it to the ring this time, so Kevin Holland doesn't get pushed into next weekend now. And let's see how he does. I don't really know his fighting style, but he has 1 extra week of preparation now. Tim Means versus Laureano Staropoli. So I've heard of Tim Means. This is at welterweight, so we'll see how that goes. Ooh. Now getting to the main card, we had Beneil Dariush versus Scott Holtzman. So Beneil is really good. I've seen his fights before. Really good wrestler. I think both of these individuals missed weight though, so I wonder how that works in the financial transaction. Because I know if you miss weight by X amount of pounds, you have to forfeit percent of your salary. And so now both these fighters missed weight. Do they just pay the UFC back? Like, my bad. Next fight, we have Yana Kunitskaya versus Julia Storlyarenko. I'm at least trying on these names. I don't know these two fighters, so we'll see how it goes. At middleweight, we have Mark Pitolo versus Darren Stewart. So both these guys I've heard of. Darren Stewart's definitely been around a lot longer. Let's see who he's fought. Actually, he lost to Edmund Shabazian. So lost to Carl Robertson. He's been pretty much like a journeyman past couple fights. Not a journeyman, but he's had a lot of ups and downs. Let's put it like that. And let's see who the other person. Patolo, I've heard of his name before. Don't remember who he fought. The next fight is Chris Weidman versus Omari Akhmedov. I don't know who Omari's faced, but obviously Chris Weidman, representing for the East Coast. He had a stellar up, and now he's had some losses. He's lost 5 out of his last 6, but his losses, like started with Luke Rockhold, then who else was in there? We had Yoel, we had obviously Dominic Reyes just knocked him out, Jacare knocked him out, and I feel like there was definitely another loss. Let's see if we find it. It's all studs though. He's facing all great people. Yeah, so last losses: Dominic KO, Jacare KO, beat Kelvin Gastelum, so that's big. It might have been, I don't know where it was on Gastelum's uprising into middleweight, because he knocked out Bisping too, Kelvin Gastelum. So this might have been early in, like, right when he became middleweight. Then it looks like Chris Weidman got TKO'd by Gregor Mousasi, who's been like a perennial Bellator middleweight champion, potentially even, I don't know if he's current, but definitely has been competing for that belt or defending that belt recently. Yoel Romero, obviously, we know he's a freak. And then Luke Rockhold, which if you don't remember, that was on UFC 194 right before Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo. Actually, no, it was just one. I think it was just one. Yeah, what a legend. But before that, he defended his belt 1, 2, 3 times, and then won it against Anderson Silva. So 4-time champ, basically. So I'm really looking forward to him just getting back onto a winning streak. I think he needs it. I was reading that this is actually potentially his last fight on his contract, because I looked at his Wikipedia and he signed a 6-fight deal when he fought Yoel Romero, and that was 5 fights ago, and this is the 6th fight. So there's a chance that if he loses, he might. It's sad to say, but I don't know if they'll cut him, but he might have to think about some other options potentially. Obviously I don't know anything, but who knows? Next fight, we have Derrick Lewis versus Aleksei Oleinik. So I touched on this briefly. Aleksei Oleinik has fought countless number of people. His last fight, he actually beat Verdum, which I thought was a crazy matchup. He was a heavy underdog, and I actually picked him to win a couple places, and it was awesome to see. Lost a lot of weight from when he went on a losing streak, so he got in shape. He beat Maurice Green. Then he beat Verdum in a split decision, and now he's facing Derrick Lewis. And this guy has 46 wins by submission. If we know Derrick Lewis, well, he is not that great on the ground. He can stop the punches, but he gets tired and gets taken down. And there's a chance that since it's a main event, my thinking is that Derrick Lewis is going to come out early, try and get a knockout, so he doesn't have to go to those later rounds. But Aleksei Oleinik's a veteran. If he's agile enough, he weighed in at 227 while Derrick Lewis weighed in at 264. If Aleksei Oleinik keeps circling and can avoid those punches, Derrick Lewis will get tired. And if he gets tired, it'll be hard to defend the takedowns. The clinch game, it's just going to be a lot of effort on his part. So I remember watching the Latifi fight and I thought he lost. It might not have been the Latifi fight. It might have been the Blagojevich fight when he was just getting taken down. And fortunately, he was able to win. But unfortunately, he was getting taken down, looked tired, and that was only a 3-round fight. So I don't know how this 5-rounder will go. Keep in mind, last time he faced someone really good on the ground, Daniel Cormier, 2nd round rear naked choke. So we'll see how Derrick Lewis can handle this kind of pressure. And my pick is Derrick Lewis. So let's go through my picks, at least. I got Derrick Lewis winning. I think it's going to be a knockout in the 2nd round. I've seen Oleinik get Scorpion a little bit. I forgot who it was. I think it was Walt Harris that just knocked him out into another dimension. This next one, the co-main, my heart wants Chris Weidman to win, but Omari might win it just because Chris Weidman's been on a losing streak. Next fight, Darren Stewart versus Mike Pitolo. Maki Pitolo. Let's go Maki. I like the name. Yana versus Yulia. I like Yana's name. And her picture has pink hair. That's cool. Benel Dariush versus Scott Holtzman. I know Benel. I've seen him fight, so I think he's going to win. That's the main card. I'm not going to go through the undercard because I don't know their names enough, and I don't want to go through that again. In the NBA bubble, like I mentioned earlier, we already had a game. I don't know what's going on with my sleep, but the early might not be a thing anymore. I'm going to try, but it's definitely getting tougher. So today, I did watch the Clippers and Trailblazers before I went on live, and it was so sad. Damian Lillard, 117 Trailblazers, 118 Clippers, 2 free throws to put them up. He's an 88 or 89% free throw shooter. He missed both. That's how they lost. They didn't score after that. That's probably going to haunt Lillard a bit. They had the game right there. Big team versus Clippers. They look great, but we'll see what happens. They didn't even have Kawhi today, so this was a game they should have won. But let's see. PG had 21, so nothing crazy. McCollum had 29. Carmelo had 21. And Lillard, he had 22, but I think he got cold from 3-point land. His last game, he had 11 threes. This game, he went 2 from 10. He probably had to force him up late. I'm not really sure what happened. But just looking at the per quarter, Portland was up going into halftime, and then Clippers Looks like they tied it in the third, and then going into the fourth, Clippers took the lead. So big loss for the Blazers. Not really a big win for the Clippers. I think they locked in the second seed regardless. So they're going to be facing 7th seed. I'm not sure who's in it right now. Let's see. While I pull that up, other games we have on the schedule: Jazz versus Nuggets. That's happening right now. Jazz are up 43-31. Lakers are facing the Pacers, so the Lakers haven't looked that great in the bubble. They're 1-3 right now. The one game did lock up the first seed for them. Not sure if it's necessarily the best thing, since the 8th seed is going to be really hungry going in. We have the Suns versus Heat. The Suns are the last remaining undefeated team in the bubble. The Toronto Raptors were the other one, and they lost last night pretty bad to the Heat. But I think it was the Heat. It was the Celtics. It was Celtics. And now the Suns are facing the Heat. So let's see what Booker has in store. And the last game we have tonight is the Bucks versus Mavericks. So that should be a great game. Luka versus the Freak. Looking forward to that for sure. Let's see. Anything else today? I'm just happy that there's sports still. And at least that we can talk through as many things as we want to. But for right now, the last thing is the PGA Championships going on right now. Obviously, Tiger Woods. That's all people like me who don't really follow golf too much want to know about. He's not doing so great. I don't know if he didn't make the cut line, but I saw him a little bit yesterday, and he was missing putts. I think he also mentioned he was pretty frustrated about his putting yesterday. Looks like H. Lee is in the lead, followed by M. Lorenzo Vera, then Brooks Koepka, Justin, I don't know if it's Justin. J. Rose after that, tied for -6, and then John Day? No, J Day. I don't know the first name, is also tied with -6. So we'll see what happens. If you didn't hear, Ben Simmons out for the year. Most likely out for the season. He's getting some surgery on his knee. So that's pretty sad. I think I'm hoping LeBron's not injured, but he sat out last game, so that might be something to watch out for. What else? What else is going on? But yeah, I mean, Yankees are playing. Yankees are up 5-3. St. Louis and Chicago, that's getting postponed a bit. I think the Cardinals have some coronavirus positives. Other baseball news: Trevor Bauer did awesome yesterday. 6 innings, 12 Ks, 2-0 now. Should have been 3-0. He had a lead when he left. He had 12 strikeouts that game, and they blew the lead late. I think the team still won that game, but he didn't get his dub. So he's 2-0 right now. I see him. If there's a bet, I'd probably take him as a Cy Young candidate. He has a less than 1 ERA, looking great. Obviously, he's on a different level when it comes to using film. So I think that's also something to look out for. How is he taking advantage of him by using film? So it's cool to see. Maybe he's onto something, and maybe other pitchers are using it too, but he's the only one vocalizing it like that. So that's definitely exciting. Yeah. So I don't really have too much other stuff for today. I will be doing one tomorrow and updating you on the fight card. I'm going to be watching it starting at 3:00, so definitely watch it with me. But thank you, everyone. Bye.